Welcome back to our segment, Get This. Joining me right now is our first ever guest on the Get This segment here. It is Tom Griffin from KTGR, the Closers. You're a good friend of us. We go on your show all the time, and now you guys are here helping us out today as Tyler is absent, so we have to keep going on with our show. First off, All-Star ballots came out today, which is really exciting because starting for the Cardinals is Lance Berkman and then Aaron Crow. I mean, how great is that for Missouri fans?
Well, it's great to see a Missouri player get in the All-Star game in his first year, no less. Very exciting for Aaron Crow and nice. I mean, every team does get a player, but for the Royals, if you're going to get one, it might as well be Aaron Crow, at least for us fans here in Columbia. Lance Berkman certainly deserved to be in the All-Star game. He's been someone that I was certainly wrong about coming in. I wasn't so sure about that signing, but he's done a great job for the Cardinals, and they would have had Pujols as well, you know, obviously if he wasn't on the shelf, but I'm sure they'll get 4 in next year.
I know, and everyone was kind of talking about Lance Berkman being, I don't know if people were too excited about him, but he has definitely been the biggest surprise. Because people are like, why would you pick Lance Berkman here, you know?
Right, well, I was just unsure how he would be in right field out there. I mean, he's not exactly a plus right fielder. He's probably better at first base than he is at right, but obviously with Pujols there, they had to put him there. But with his bat, it really doesn't matter how well he does out in right field because he's just done a fantastic job for them.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the All-Stars. Jose Bautista was the one that led with all the votes. Is that any surprise to you that he got that much?
I was a little bit surprised to see a guy just playing on a Canadian team get the most votes in a sport that's, you know, primarily voted on, at least I would say, in the United States. But you can't argue with what Joey Bats has been doing. I got a chance to see him last Sunday out at Busch, and he's been actually, I think, underrated in right field as well. He's been just better than I thought he would be out there. There was some conversation about him maybe moving to third base, but I think they should probably quiet that down because he's been real solid out there and right.
Anyone you think got snubbed?
There was a few people I think got snubbed. Derek Jeter, you know, if you look at his numbers, probably didn't deserve to be in, but he's Derek Jeter, so I can let that go. People make an argument for CC Sabathia. I'm not too sure about that. He does have the 11 wins, but a 3+ ERA isn't spectacular compared to some of the other guys we've seen in. And then I would have to say Andrew McCutchen in the NL was probably a guy from the Pirates that I thought deserved to be in, maybe over a Carlos Beltran or someone like that. And then Mark Teixeira and Paul Konerko probably could have been in, but first base has just been so stacked, both in the AL and NL, really, over the past few years. It's probably the deepest position in all of baseball.
Any surprise that Holiday and Molina weren't put on as starters, or is that just...
I think if Holiday maybe had been healthier most of the year, he probably would have had a better chance to be a starter in this game, but since he had the injury, that's tough. And then with Molina, yeah, I do think he could have been the starter, but certainly there's a lot of catchers as well in the NL, so he'll be coming off the bench, and I'm sure he'll get a couple of at-bats as well, hopefully after what he did this weekend with a couple home runs.
Some good news. We were finding out that Albert Pujols, they're expecting he might be able to come back earlier. We've been reporting this all weekend long. Just the fact that he had a CT scan on Friday, and he's shown a lot of healing improvement, that they're thinking that he might, depending on how things go tomorrow with the last checkup, he could play this week. He might just sit out the All-Star break and then play again against the Reds. Do you think it would be smart, say he gets cleared tomorrow, and you're like, you know what, Albert's great. Would you want to see him play as soon as possible, or would you rather see him wait a little bit?
Well, I thought one of the toughest things about Albert going down was that he wouldn't get to play in the All-Star game. That's definitely something that's exciting for the fans, not just of St. Louis, but from other cities to get a chance to see him. But with regard to what he's going to be doing this week, I think they should probably let him sit out through the All-Star game just to make sure everything's solid in there. Let him take some extra batting practice over the break, and hopefully he can come back strong after the break.
Yeah, I like the fact that he is going to come back before that August 1st. What they originally said with the whole 6 weeks, but I agree with waiting over the All-Star break just because you don't want to put him out there. Even though he's the type of guy that's going to want to play, he always traditionally comes back earlier before he was supposed to, but you just don't want to see him get injured again. And the Cardinals are going to need him right now down the stretch. I mean, because once All-Star break's over, it's serious time, you know?
Yeah, and with the way the pitching's going for them right now, I mean, they're going to need a couple of those 8, 9, 10-run games with or without Pujols, because you just don't know what you're going to get on a night-to-night basis with them, unfortunately. And you kind of saw that this weekend. McClellan yesterday can't seem to get through 6 innings regardless of the scenario. You get an opportunity, he goes very strong through 5, and then everything just kind of imploded there in the 6th inning for him. So you hope to get guys to get a little bit longer to that 6th, 7th inning, so that bridging of the gap through the bullpen wouldn't be as difficult to wrap up those wins.
No Cardinals pitchers on the All-Star ballot. Hey, last topic. We got to say goodbye to Colorado and Nebraska this week. What are your final thoughts as they hit the road to their new conferences?
Well, I certainly would say good riddance, at least to Nebraska. I think as far as Colorado's concerned, they're probably just trimming the fat there. Haven't been so great in football, and in basketball never were too much. As far as Nebraska goes, you lose a good rival. I actually think Nebraska has a chance to go in next year and probably have a good shot at winning the Big Ten as they move there. Even in their first year, you got Michigan's been down for a while, Ohio State now.
Yeah.
Still don't know what's going to happen with them in the NCAA. So you've got an opportunity if you're Nebraska to come in and maybe sneak above Michigan State, Penn State, and some of those other teams and get right in and get the crown in their first year.
We were able to go to Nebraska we had a post-game show after there, and I had never seen the fact that at that stadium they allowed the people to come and basically watch the game or watch the band warm up and other things, expect them to leave, and then they can come back. And I thought that was different. I mean, there's a lot of big, I'm a Pac-10 kid, so I always knew how you just gonna do that in Pac-10.
Yeah, I think Nebraska is definitely a unique place to see a game, even for Mizzou fans that may haven't gotten a chance to go there while Mizzou was playing in the same conference. It's a place that I think is worthwhile to go check out a game that Sea or Red is pretty impressive, but I'm certainly not sad to see them go.
I don't think a lot of people are. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us here. You're going to be sticking around, so don't go away because Tom and I are doing something a little bit different this show. Next, find out who epically failed in this week's version of the Not So Top 10s. Welcome back. Usually we use this segment to show off our top plays of the week, but in Tyler's absence, the intern and I took the liberty of finding the best of the worst. Let's take a look at them because they're pretty good. Women's World Cup, Sweden's Jessica Landstrom sets up outside the box for the easy shot, and then what? Takes it.
Oh man, I had a kid on my team back in the day that used to do this a lot. We would give him the big field goal from the American football style there.
Play football. Look at this guy, Maurer in his back hair.
I actually like this guy. He's kind of gross, but that's certainly showing some dedication there for him to shave into his back.
All right, Mariners versus the Marlins tied at 1. And what is this play going on
This is
here?
one of the few times where I can actually say that I could have made a better play than a major league athlete. This guy just trying to pitch out here and can't even get it to the catcher. That is just pathetic.
It is really sad. Now this is, the Giants foul ball, and the kid's gonna throw it back.
Oh no.
I don't want it, I guess.
Dad brings a kid to the game. How much money did he spend on those tickets? Finally gets a foul ball. You know how many games I've been to, never had a foul ball. That kid chucked it back.
You know they're going to show that to his first girlfriend. Now watch this. Why throw it to second where the guy is when you can throw it to first?
Yeah, must have been a little bit confused there. Maybe it's starting to throw a pickoff play, but guy takes off, doesn't have a chance to even get him because he threw to the wrong base.
I don't know, but the poor guy, so what can you do? All right. Well,
that's sloppy stuff right there.
It is sloppy, and you can just tell that they're probably pretty upset about that stuff.
Yeah, absolutely.
4th of July plans, what are you doing?
Definitely going to have to be setting off some fireworks tomorrow. Might head over to the fairgrounds for the I Love America Festival, check out some fireworks over there. I'm 2 for 2 so far this weekend in golf, so maybe I'll go 3 for 3 tomorrow, 3 rounds of golf in one weekend. That'd be pretty solid, I think.
Yeah. I get to go back home to California. Tyler will be here next week. We're going up to Tahoe for the wonderful 4th of July festivities out there with my family and friends. I'm pretty excited about that.
You're going back for the whole week?
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going to be taking part in any sporting activities while you're out there?
We'll see. I don't know how to golf. This is the one sport I actually want to try and play, but we'll see. There's still snow up in the mountains there.
Oh, really?
People are skiing in tank tops.
So maybe you'll be skiing.
Maybe, if I'm
lucky. Well, yeah, we played a pretty wet round out there today. It was not exactly the nicest weather, but it looks like after maybe 1 or 2 tomorrow, it's going to be a little bit nicer. So looking forward to that. And, of course, Cardinals-Reds. Going to hopefully see some fireworks in that game as well based on what they've done the last 12 months or so between those two teams. So definitely looking forward to that series.
Prediction, he's going to win AL or NL for the All-Star game?
I'm going to have to go with the NL. They have some of the pitching matchups as far as guys that won't be eligible because they're pitching on Sunday, so I think that could really affect the game.
Well, thank you so much for joining us here on the Sports Zone. Like I said, Tyler will be here next week, and then make sure you have a very safe and happy 4th of July. Good night.
You've been watching ABC 17 Sports Zone. Join us again next Sunday at 10:30 for Mid-Missouri's favorite Sunday night sports show.